in a family, you are looking at one person to be a breadwinner. It's hard if that person is gone.
Hello, everybody. You're watching Rise in Awareness podcast here. My name is Jumi, and on this channel, I do podcasting. Welcome to yet another episode of Rise in Awareness podcast. If you're new, do make sure that you subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome. So today, I'm with someone that I know from home. So me and her, we come from the same crib. She's a singer, a songwriter, a soon chef to be, and her name is Ponagalo Shai.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. Hey, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be here?
I'm nervous, to be honest.
Is
I'm
it?
nervous, but yeah.
So, do you still remember how we met?
I do actually. I do. Yeah.
How do you meet?
I do. I think we met. I think we were mutual friends. You were friends with my friend, and we became friends. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or do you want me to explain what really happened?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, if you insist.
Yeah.
Well, you had a crush on my friend. You had a crush on my friend, and she was, I think, that's in a boarding school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then the minute she left, Warias says, Kamulata Ola. And the next thing, you were also into me. I'm like, this guy, but to God, is this really happening? I mean,
I still remember.
sharp. Yeah, so then one thing led to another. It's too bad. Things didn't work out. Things didn't work out or in a relationship, but we became best of friends.
Yeah, that's true. Because I remember, I used to kind of harass you some way. Because, bruh, that was too much. Because, I was still young. I didn't know what I was doing, of course.
Yeah, I guess
Get
so.
it, yeah. But then up to so far, I think we're good friends. Up to so far. So on today's topic is quite emotional, something that we all at some point have experienced or we still gonna experience. So the question of the day is, can you ever heal completely from losing a loved one? Because why? Grief is something that we all going to experience at some point or we have already experienced. So you lost someone. Have you ever lost someone in your life?
Yeah, I have actually, my dad.
Is it? That's so bad.
My dad.
So how old were you when you lost your father?
I was 20 years old. Yes. And it was not easy. I don't think you can actually heal from losing someone.
Yeah.
You can only live with the pain.
Right.
So yeah.
So how did you feel? Let's say, from the day that you had, my father's dead. How do you feel from that?
Considering the fact that I experienced everything, even when he breathed out his last breath, I was there. I witnessed everything.
Oh, you were there?
I was.
That's bad.
Yeah, I was. Throughout his entire last days, if I may put it, he was sick, and I was there, man. I mean, it was not easy. And by the way, my daughter was a month old at that time. So when my dad passed on, my daughter was a month old. So I was still in shock. I'm a newly mother. Now I'm losing my dad. Everything was just numb. I didn't know whether to be excited because I'm a mother. At the same time, I just lost my dad. And my feelings were all over the place. Believe it or not, for some reasons, I don't think I've even shed a tear throughout the week preparations for his burial, and even on the day, I didn't cry. And I think it affected me, if I may put it, in the long run, because later that year, I guess it was 2 years back. That year, I still expected him to call me. I still expected him to come back from work.
Man.
Sometimes when I cook, I'd be like, okay, my dad loves this, and cook it. And then damn, he's no more. You see, so it was a very, very tough year.
So I wanna know, let's say maybe like okay, first and foremost, what happened? What happened?
My
to
dad
him?
was sick.
He was sick,
Yeah,
right?
he suffered from, what was it? A lung disease, I think. Yeah,
All
he was
right.
sick.
So I mean, like, just experiencing like you were there while he was passing away. I feel like that's the most terrible thing one has to experience, honestly. Because if maybe were me, I'm literally like trying to imagine that.
You know,
But then for me, I feel like it will break me like completely.
you know, if you've seen someone in pain in terms of him being sick,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be that painful. Because we've seen him struggling to breathe, we've seen him in pain.
Yeah.
So that moment, it's a bit confusing. You're not sure whether is this happening, like somebody pinch me, is this happening really? But then later you'll be like, man, Ukudije, he's at peace, he's at rest. Though I'm gonna be struggling because I'm no longer gonna be with this person, but he's at rest, man. I mean, he suffered. So I don't know if I can say it's better to mourn someone whom you saw that he or her was sick compared to someone being involved in a car accident or in some sort of shooting or something, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I think for me and my opinion, I think it was better for me because I saw his struggles, I saw him in pain.
Yeah.
So it was easier to accept. Yes.
Hey, for me, I feel like for real, I don't think I'll ever deal with that.
I can imagine.
Like, I feel like it's like a terrible thing for one to usually experience that, you know. So like, ever since from you losing your dad, how have you been? Are you well?
I'm
are
not
you well?
okay. To be honest, I'm not okay. Will I ever be? I don't know, man. I just thank God for giving me strength every day. Every day is a better day. I take things one step at a time, one day at a time, and I just hope that someday I'll just wake up being a better version of myself. It's not easy. It's not easy. Things that you were used to, they're no longer there. The phone calls, the spoilings, the airtime, wahala, you know, some of the things. So I miss them, Sham. Even on Father's Day, we'll be seeing people posting, and even on social media. Okay, you know how we women are.
Yeah.
We'll be like, men are trashing based on how we experience them, of course. So sometimes I just be like, you know what, God, maybe just give me one more year, man. Maybe if you would have given me one more year to spend with my dad, maybe I would have proven them wrong that men ain't that trash after all, you know.
Is it?
Yeah.
So like, was he a good father?
Yes, he was. He was too.
That's good.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Let's say now you're at home and you feel like usually there's someone who is missing the house. How does it feel?
It feels lonely. It feels, what's the opposite of safe? It feels shattered, man.
Yeah.
I'm just broken. I don't feel safe anymore. But usually what I do is I watch the video, the burial.
Oh yeah.
Cry, ease out the pain, and
so basically you find healing on that.
Not really healing, but closure.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't heal. Like it doesn't heal me. It
So basically just kind of better for that
it
moment.
helps me to accept, because I think I'd be still in denial. Then at some point you know what, it's fine. I saw everything that happened. Then yeah.
So like, have you ever like not felt any pressure? Let's say maybe we go to the same school. I'm just giving an example. Then my father bought me a phone. Then I come and tell you, I'm excited. My father bought me this. Like, wouldn't you feel some kind of type of way?
I used to cry.
Yeah.
I used to cry. I had this friend, my former classmate. Her dad, God should make sure, like, I mean, he'd make sure that he goes all out on her daughter. So, like, that would put me in a very lonely, cold, a depressing place. I would sometimes even blame God, or like, God, why did you take this man at this time? I mean, now that I'm here, I feel like things would have been much better. You know, those kind of thoughts.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's bad.
It's bad, really. It's sad. It's sad. I don't wanna lie.
So, like, do you ever go to the cemetery to visit him?
To be honest, no. I think I went I went the day after the funeral, and once that year. Then from there,
How do you feel? How does it feel when you go to the cemetery?
it awakens so many buried wounds. It reminds me of so many memories with him. It reminds me that my daughter is going to grow up without a grandfather. Yeah, such things. So it pains me, because I would have loved her to experience my father's love. My dad was loving. My dad was the best. Yeah.
Because I find it to be quite breaking for one going to the cemetery.
It is. It is. The painful part is that she was still tiny, and he held her, I think, once. Yeah. The on the day that he passed on, he was like, "Can I please hold the baby?" And then he held her for a few moments. Then, after some hours, then he passed on. To me, I just felt like maybe he could feel that maybe it's time, you know. I mean, out of the blue, him just saying, "Can I please hold the baby?" It meant something. I mean, you know, yeah.
So, like, now, how do you face the world?
How do I face the world?
Beside you, I mean, like, you know, your father. How do you face the world?
You know, I feel like everybody is pitying me. Everybody's like, shame. Especially at church, because I was fond of going to where I get my mom and dad don't go to the same church. Yeah, so I got fond of going to his church, your church actually. So now every time I go there, people be looking at me like, that one, her dad passed on. Ah, shame. His dad left her. You know, those type of things. So it's heartbreaking, because at the same time I have to pull up this it's fine face, I'm strong, and whereas deep inside I'm hurting, I'm breaking down like nobody's business,
right?
Yeah.
So let's just a bit on the summary part. So most of we Christians, we have this mentality that if maybe one has lost their loved one, they no longer have to go to the cemetery. Yeah, because it is said that I don't know what it's called in English, but bare mabita kidi tokola. Yeah, so when we go there, it means that we want to talk to our ancestors and there's God. I've heard this theory. I'm just not really and thoroughly clarified on it. Yeah. So what's your take on that?
My take.
Is it good or bad for a Christian to go to the cemetery?
Going to the cemetery, according to me, is not bad. It depends on what you're going to do at the cemetery.
Then let's say maybe myself, I lost a loved one. Then I go to the cemetery and I take pictures, then I post.
I don't see anything wrong
There's
with that.
There's nothing wrong with that, because most of the Christianity, or Christians rather, they have this thing about the what else, like this, like an emotional thing.
Yeah.
I can
somewhere that you find closure. Yeah.
Exactly, and it's something that you can just like easily explain to someone for them to understand.
Yeah, according to me, but I feel like there's nothing wrong with going to the cemetery. Remember, even in the Bible, just not sure of the verse, Jesus also, they've put him in a tombstone. People used to go there. Even today, Resaya, like, no, this is where Jesus was put in after he resurrected after 3 days. What does that mean? That I think we are allowed to go to the cemetery and visit the graveyard or the tombstone, if I may put it.
Right.
Yeah. So my problem is talking to the tombstone. People be like, can I please have this? Wamana doing this to me. I've once heard some pastor it's wrong. So now I'm not sure on which one is right there.
But the truth is, it's not everything that the pastor says that is true.
Yeah, that's true.
The reality.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the reality.
That's true.
Yeah. Because I feel like it's quite decorated in some way, something that we should never talk about in church, because it's like something which is deeply emotional.
Yeah. And most of the things that the pastors usually say are opinions. Yeah. So hence it's a 50 biblical, 50 opinion thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Ish. And I feel like we should stop this thing. It's a deeper thing, you know. I don't know, like, you usually don't know what that person is usually feeling. Get it? So I found it to be, I don't know, but then maybe like they found closure, healing.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
You know, my sister once said to me that closure and healing are things that you should never judge a person, because what gives you closure is not what gives me closure. For example,
Yeah.
if like a head and who groove around your ke heal around your ke bode like around your ke sharp, and when you are not happy about it, it doesn't, how can I put it, if when I go tabishi, it has got nothing to do with you. That's my thing. That's how I find closure.
Yeah, because,
And if when my strategy I go very then you should find your own rather than judging, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's true. Because like it becomes like a personal thing that you can't easily share pain with someone on.
True.
Yeah, that's so much true.
So
What do you say to someone who's actually going grief now? What do you say to them?
what I can say is that the Bible says the Lord is closest to the brokenhearted. I found closure in the Word of God. I didn't know how I did it. Even now I still question myself, or like, how did I get the strength to move on, to be a mother to my daughter after losing my dad? So what I can say is that every day is a better day. Prayer is the key.
Dope one. Dope one. But then I want to ask this question.
Okay.
How does the Father, God, or Jesus Christ himself heal you? Like, explain that for someone else. Maybe they don't believe
Someone
in
who's not a
God,
Christian.
or maybe they're not necessarily into believing or so forth.
Okay, I feel like the same way that we are able to study and believe that tomorrow we are going to nail a test.
Come again?
The same way that now I'll be studying, knowing that tomorrow I'm gonna nail that test.
Yeah.
How do we have the confidence of studying a certain chapter, not being sure of if we'll try or not tomorrow? Besides having to have a scope. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's more like that thing. It's more like a pastor praying for you, and then you believing that I'm going to be healed. It's the same way, reading the Word of God and trusting that God is going to heal me. So it's more of a faith and trust thing. You need to have faith that God is going to heal me in order for you to be healed.
So in most cases, my father, let's say to me, I lost a loved one.
Okay.
The next thing maybe, now, you know, what's your take on that? Is it because Motukabena or Wanyagana? No, I no longer have a father. Now I'm just like losing everything.
You feel like the world owes you something because you've lost your dad.
Exactly what I mean.
I understand that. What's my take on that? Losing someone is very painful, and we as people must understand that we as people, we are different, and we don't do things the same way. As different as we are, we deal with things differently. So how I grieve, if yam berekela, I must not expect all this another person I didn't do if you know what I mean. So another mutu ata utabelela, I feel like it's two-sided. It might be because the person maybe umisa the one he or she has lost. You know, like, you guys, like, stop bothering me, or unyaka attention because he or she has lost someone.
Yeah.
It can be that, or it can be even to I don't know, man, but I think attention gone.
Attention. At
Like,
some point, get attention.
Yeah, not attention. Attention. Like, I need to be attended to. Some of us, you know, the things that we do, we retaliate from what we are going through. Mara are sharp. So give that situation into something like this, or maybe temporary normal too. But he or she has lost someone. I don't know if you understand me. For example, I lost my dad. Then every time I'm like I get to if I'm out at night, my mom is supposed to be quiet because I lost my dad. No, that's not it. That's not it. So I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yo.
So I don't a ra tshwanela go justify dilo tse di wrong tse le gore di dira in the name of we've lost people in our lives.
Yeah. Okay, here's a quote that I would like to read.
Okay.
Without you in my arms, I feel an emptiness in my soul. I find myself searching for the clouds, for your face. I know it's impossible, but I can't help myself. I feel like that's where it comes into no one will ever understand the pain that I have. Maybe at the same time.
No one. And I really feel like maybe time we are of the same parent and we both lose that parent. Each of us, we lost a parent, yes, but we're going to experience the pain differently.
I didn't know.
Serious,
right?
Yeah. As different as we are, even twins, like, we won't experience something that is the same, like
the same way,
the same way. If I make
it makes sense. So then, how would you like to say goodbye, or what is the best way to say goodbye for a loved one? I don't know if my question is it's not clear, but then I hope you get it.
How so?
Like, let's say I lost a loved one. What do you think is a better way to say goodbye to them?
Is there even a better way to say goodbye to a person? Number one, he or she is close to you and you got someone for the rest of your life. I feel like there isn't.
There isn't.
Good goodbyes are easy if whatever tomorrow morning I can call the person and talk to him or her. Something that you can never, even if you're about or like a dream, then waloraka the person, feel the because I don't know if it's true because it is said that when you dream of someone that is late, it means the person dead. I don't know if it's true now. Like even if it's the case, you're gonna just wake up and find the person as one. So I don't think there's an easy way, or according to me, or if ngabe in those shoes, Hashem, I don't think I'll just cry until the last breath, of which I did. Yes.
One thing that I realized, losing a parent is a deeper pain. It's something that people might not understand, but losing a parent, I know, for an example, even my mother, like she also wants her parents to be alive. I mean, her parents to be alive. You get it?
Yeah, you're right. You're very much right.
It's a deeper pain, honestly.
It is, because I can imagine the bond, or it's from the tummy. Remember, a mother carried you, then she breastfed you, and then the process continued. So I feel like as much as we feel pain losing siblings and friends and loved ones, but I feel like when it comes to a mother, it's deeper. It's deeper, to be honest.
It's deeper, right? Because like with me, in most cases, I usually just try to imagine what will happen, and in most cases, like my tears will just come out.
You're not alone. You're not alone. Losing a mother is most people's worst fears.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like basically, I don't wish to experience that, though it might be under like beyond my control, but then I just don't wish to experience that.
People still cry, but they want their mothers. So you can understand what losing a mother is more
even
than
their
we can
father as
imagine.
well. It's bad, because when our travel, when like their father, like they were the role models. Some maybe the father was the only one in the picture. So losing them,
a parent in general.
Exactly that. You can never heal from that completely. It's
deeper than what we think.
Right? Yeah, it's way much deep. So how do you think your life will be if maybe like your dad was still alive now?
Okay, my life. Oh my word. I think I would have been having a better life than the one that I'm having now, because being a daddy's little girl, daddy's favorite girl, plus the granddaughter is here, to say, so I think things would be much easier than they are right now,
right? That's bad. And how do you feel about that? Because basically, a father is someone who has to provide,
How do I feel? At some point, sometimes I blame God for taking him, sometimes I just feel like I'm cursed. I have bad luck, the
Right.
black sheep, all those words. I feel like but my daughter gives me courage. I'm like, you know what, I have to do it for her. So it's not easy. I don't want to lie. It's not easy, especially being a single mother, that I have to raise my daughter. I feel like if my dad would have been here, I wouldn't even feel that I'm raising my daughter alone. Yeah.
Right.
So with the help of my mother, God bless her, I feel like if my dad was here, it would have been double the effort, double the support and everything. Yes.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
And the truth is, you can never like heal completely from losing a loved one.
You can't.
It's something that you live with. Yeah, it's something that you should live with you forever.
Yeah, you accept the pain and you live with it. Healing, I don't know. I'm not even sure if people that have lost their parents 20 years back, but like have they healed now? But I doubt.
Definitely no.
I doubt.
Definitely no. Like alive, and that's the reality.
People still cry, like even after such a long time, they still cry going to graves, and so you can tell already it's no walk in the park.
And sadly, it's something which is beyond our control.
It's not. And the sad part, Kori, zonke zwap, we are going there. We are going there. We are all going to kick the bucket, one way or another. It's painful truth, by the way.
Yeah, that's a painful truth.
And you know what pains the most? Each day, like kutwana nasi. Today is a day less. If God has given me 20 days, means I'm left with 19 days. Tomorrow, 18 days. 17 days, so on.
That's true. And speaking of that, you might find that someone today lost their mother or father, bruh. Imagine what they're going through now.
That's something that I don't even want to imagine. I don't want to imagine it, encountering it myself, and God help me.
So, like, what would you recommend a solution from losing a loved one, like instantly? So, what is that first step that one can take?
I would say cry. Crying helps me, and you get to ease out a lot of pain, a lot of you throughout the crying process. I think somewhere, somehow, man, there's stability in there. After crying, you feel lighter.
Right.
Yeah, and crying and praying, that's the two weapons that helps me. So if I was to give someone that has lost someone today, my brother, my sister, prayer is the only key once more.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I lost a brother. I think that was in 2017. I lost a brother, right? And at some point I cannot forget. But then I remember the first time when I dropped the first episode of Rise and Now on this podcast name. Most of the people were actually congratulating me, but then you recall that, bruh, like the congratulations you got get it. They're not enough.
There's still that one
is
person.
Missing.
Yeah. But at the same time, I would recommend even getting help from social workers or psychologists, because sometimes we people differ. Prayer can't be enough for some people.
Yeah.
Some people need to talk about things sharper than others. Tell God. We have different beliefs.
Yeah.
So having someone to talk to, be it a professional or maybe someone that you trust, is also helpful. Yes.
So which song do you listen to? A song that you find healing?
Me being a Christian, I don't think I do have a favorite song, or I have that song. Well, Ayanda Tanzi. What's the song? According to Your Grace. Joe, I love that song. Every time I'm not feeling okay, I just listen to Ayanda Tanzi. Yeah, not even According to Your Grace alone, but his whole album. His voice is just soothing. It heals. Yeah.
Because the song that actually, even maybe one plays a song, always reminds me of my brother, Haliangatego.
Oh, yeah.
It always like, that one.
That's why you loved it.
Exactly.
Hey,
it actually reminds me of him.
That song. Yeah.
And I feel like most of people, they can actually relate, like most of people, they actually relate to that song.
I think that song, remember playlist ya bona, it came after Tribute to Lihle.
Oh yeah,
you remember?
So
it's attached to healing of losing someone inside wa bona, compared to the Hallelujah Nkateko, the original one, not the Zbunua one. Yeah. So I feel like it heals, man. Like they were singing it, or you know what, God, we are hating, we trust in you.
Wow,
that song is powerful, Sham.
Wow,
yeah,
to God be the glory.
It is.
So what are some of the songs that you usually recommend? Because there is healing music, obviously. So what are those songs that you think one can find healing in? It does not necessarily have to be gospel.
Yeah, I'd say Nezimu, may he still rest in peace. I can say it's a lot actually. Considering that I'm a Christian, it's hard for me to just pick a song. I don't know, specifically this one is for healing, because I found healing in almost every song. But then Hallelujah Nkateko, man, it has a deeper meaning if you understand song, of course.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So how has your life changed after you losing a loved one?
I feel like my life it will upside down. It will rebellious. Mona. Grooving. I grooved, mona. Still do, but I feel like I've good lately. So, I've changed. I could see through my mom. She's not only mourning her husband, but also concerned about me. So it was not easy for me. I thought I had it all, but my actions, my actions proved otherwise, because a lot of people recommended that I should talk to someone about how I feel about my father's death, my habit of drinking. So yeah. So I wasn't okay. It really impacted me, and it really dug deeper than I expected. I wasn't ready. Not that I would have prepared, because death is not something that I can just prepare for it. But it caught me off guard. I mean, I couldn't handle being a mother and losing a dad at the same time. So it was too much for me, if I can put it.
So what are some of the things that you tend to do after losing a loved one? Because people change, you know.
My friend.
Is it?
Groovies. Monday to Monday. My friends know me. I would even compromise money. I remember this. I pray my mom doesn't watch this. I remember this one time. DSTV. The whole month, TV. Because like that's how far I went.
So did you find healing that?
I became
comfort
better
in some way?
In drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
For that time being drunk, I was okay. After that, it's back to reality.
Wow.
So it's more like a recurring situation. You know that I'm fine. Back to hurting. Then it leads you to wanting to drink more, because you want that 2 minutes happiness. But now I feel like it gets you nowhere, man. I mean, at the end of the day, even throughout, but closure dololo, healing dololo. So one step forward is 10 steps back. Yes.
So when last did you cry? Like you missing your dad, when last did you cry?
What day is it today?
Today is Wednesday. Yeah.
I cried on Monday. The whole of last week till Monday. Yeah.
You're crying because of your dad?
Yeah, but yeah. What I went through last week made me remember him. I was like, oh, you know what? If my dad, I know that this would have been happening. This wouldn't be happening, I mean to say. Yeah.
So basically, you can still cry even after.
I do, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I do, Sham. I do. Yeah. Especially, man, things are hard. If the situation in a family, you are looking at one person to be a breadwinner. It's hard if that person is gone. It was more of that situation in my case.
And now, if maybe things are not coming together, imagine
I
how
just
you'd feel.
remember, yes, you know what, my dad, because I spent about 3 weeks. 3 weeks ke robala godimo ga base ya se bele sponge ka mo godimo. Sponge se gae. My mom and I can't drive. There's a car at home. And go tamo, we have to pay someone gore a re tsetše yona. So that whole 2 weeks, if my dad was alive, but ba jere koloi and tsetše sponge. You know where it hits you. Yeah. So it's one of the practical reasons to get experience. Man, I'd be like, you know what? God took you for a reason, man.
Right?
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, what would you like to say? What is that awareness that you should like to make for someone who's going grieve now?
Okay.
Grief, I mean.
I'd like to say, Mtase, you are not alone in this grief,
that's
man.
true. Yeah.
You're not alone, and I'm with you. I mean, we as people that lost parents, we have to be together. God is with you. Yeah. Prayer is my key point that keeps me moving. So I highly recommend prayer. I highly recommend talking. Just talking about something really ease off some of the things. So yeah, I'd say that just be strong, man. Tomorrow is yet another day. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
100%.
Yes.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you like it, and I hope we have managed to raise the necessary awareness in regards with
surely
one losing a loved one that you can never heal completely. So do make sure that you subscribe, comment below, and like the video. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hanti Jesu unampona haki lila jwalo ambi ta arito huna ufo le matswalo ambi sa arito huna ufo le matswalo